So I thought I would propose an equation for this marathon, and the equation hopefully will come up here if it's coming through my computer. Is more maths equals less work. So since this is the work marathon, I thought I would set you some work, okay? So I'm a big believer that maths isn't a spectator sport. So here's your challenge. Who's the first person who can add up the numbers 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 100? Okay, is that going to take us the whole of my 15 minutes? Or it will? Yeah. So probably what you're thinking is either, well, that's a lot of work because I've got to add 1 plus 2, and I'm bound to make a mistake on the way. Some of you will be thinking, I'm buggered if I'm going to do that work. That's really boring. Others of you might be thinking, I think there might be a trick to this. So that's the point, that if you can find, this is not maths to me, this is arithmetic. The maths here is to find some way to do this without having to do any work. Because actually mathematicians at heart are very lazy people. We love to find smart tricks in order to do hard work. So the smart trick here is to, at first sight, looks like to do a lot more work, because I'm going to add another copy of this numbers onto the one we started with. So you might think, well, that's doubled the work. But no, actually, this is going to make it very simple, because now I'm just going to add up each of the columns here. If I do that, each of the columns actually comes to 101. So I've paired them up. So 100 with 1, 101, 2 with 99, 101. So actually, I've got 100 lots of 101. So this is really simple to work out. It's just 10,000 and 100. But I had 2 copies of that, so to actually get the answer, just need to divide that by 2. So it's 5,050. Now, that didn't require much kind of work, did it? It just required a clever bit of thinking. And in fact, the point is I can apply this. If I wanted you to add up the numbers from 1 to 1,000,000, well, you go, well, that's just going to take forever. No, it's the same trick. Take us the same amount of time. We'll get to the answer incredibly efficiently. And there's a message here, because the reason kind of we've got this marathon going is that there's a sort of crisis that work is changing. Why is work changing? Why is there a kind of crisis in work? Some people regard it as a kind of utopia that we're going into, and others a dystopia. The reason is that in this modern world, algorithms are beginning to do the work for us. And what is an algorithm? It's basically just a clever bit of maths like I just did. So to understand the way that our world is working, you need to understand the maths, which is taking the work away from humans and giving it to machines. Because increasingly, we're using algorithms to do everything around us. If I want to get a piece of information, I type it into Google. Amazing, it's not little Google elves at the other end of the line who are looking, oh, there's a question here. Actually, some people do think that. There was a grandmother who always wrote very politely, please, could you tell me what the date is in Roman numerals? And her grandson discovered this and tweeted it and said, oh, look, my granny actually thinks they're people and she's being polite to them. And he was a bit shocked to get a tweet back from somebody at Google saying, thank you very much for being so polite on Google. And the answer to your question is, but most of the time it's mathematics, which is finding you your the best websites. Nowadays we're using a lot of algorithms online to find our dates. And I love this one, OkCupid, which is very forthright, saying we use maths to find you dates. To find your way here, you probably use maybe your GPS, and you will have used an algorithm to find you the most efficient way, a clever bit of maths to find the best network through London. The recommendations we're getting for the films we want to watch, the events we're going to go to, the books we want to read, all being driven again by algorithms, although again here, there's a clear indication that it isn't always a human that's doing the recommendation. These are the kind of recommendations I get. I get recommended my own books to read, which actually, maybe that is a clever algorithm, because I'm thinking, well, I like Amazon. They're recommending my books. But anyway, slightly strange to offer the author copies of their books. So I thought what I would do just in my short session here is to explain one of my favorite algorithms. It's kind of one of my desert island algorithms that I take with me on a desert island. And it's actually to do with OkCupid, because it's about trying to find the best partner to match people up in the most efficient and best way. And actually, this is the first algorithm that actually won a Nobel Prize. It won the Nobel Prize for Economics. It's by Lord Shapley. It was his partner who also solved this, had died at this time. But in 2012, Lloyd Shapley received the Nobel Prize for a very clever algorithm that finds a way of taking a group of men and a group of women that have given preferences for which man or woman they like, and finding a way to match them up such that the marriages that ensue are in fact stable. So I'm going to do a little experiment here. So I've got 4 men, the King of Spades up down to the King of Clubs, and the 4 queens, and each of the kings has ranked in order their preference. So here we got the King of Spades. The King of Spades has ranked the Queen of Diamonds as the sexiest of the queens there, but the Queen of Spades is right down there at the bottom. And similarly, the queens have ranked the kings. So here with the Queen of Spades, actually, I think it's the King of Spades is rather dishy, but to put him top of the list, and the King of Clubs is down there at the bottom. So the challenge here is to try and match the kings and queens up in such a way, not that they get their best, because that's clearly not going to be possible, but such that the marriages that ensue are stable. What do I mean by that? Well, I don't want people to be matched up with a partner such that they see somebody else who they prefer, and that person would actually prefer them, so they would race off together. So, for example, if I matched King of Spades and Queen of Spades, King of Hearts and Queen of Hearts, then look, the King of Spades ranked the Queen of Spades as right down at the bottom. So frankly, if there's anybody else who would prefer to run away with him, he'd take that offer. Look at the Queen of Hearts. She's ranked the King of Hearts right down at the bottom. So she would actually prefer the King of Spades above the King of Hearts. So actually these two, if you married them up like this, they'd run off together because they would prefer each other to the partners they've got. So this is not a stable pairing. So we're trying to find, is there some way? Maybe there isn't. Maybe there's no way to make sure that everybody is stable. So I'm going to show you what this algorithm that won this Nobel Prize, how it works. And in order to do this, I'm going to need a few volunteers. Okay, so I need 4 men to play my kings. Would anybody like to volunteer to be a king? Or am I going to have to come down and pick you out? I saw your hand go like this. So there you are. You can be the King of Spades. Excellent. Great. Why don't you be the King of Hearts? Hans-Ulrich, you can be the King of Diamonds. Would you join me up on stage for a King of Clubs? There you go. Very good. Come on up. So let's get our kings up. So if you'd like to come on stage, I'm afraid you're actually going to have to perform up here. Yeah, give them a round of applause. Give them a, yeah. Excellent. So why don't the King of Hearts here? So Hans-Ulrich, you've got to come up. I'm sorry. I know. And you're King of Spades, so I'm going to put you down here so we have you in order so we can see what's happening here. And you're the King of Clubs, so you're going to be at the end here. And then we've got the King of Diamonds. Oh, no, you're right. Okay, we'll swap you around because you're King of Spades and you're coming here. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now I need some queens. So who'd like to perhaps get paired up with one of these glorious kings here? So any volunteers? Excellent. Right, up you come. There's already somebody who's... so let's give you... excellent. So it's really important you get this the right way, Hans-Ulrich, okay? All right, I know they're very symmetric. Okay, so let's put the queens down here. We're going to put the queens down here for the moment because I need to tell you what the algorithm is. Okay, so who else would like to... Great, excellent. We'll do you, your Queen of Hearts, Queen of Diamonds, and one more. There we are, Queen of Clubs. Yes, exactly. Let's see whether the algorithm works. Yeah. Okay, so how does this algorithm work? So queens, now let's make sure you get all yours. Trouble with cards are they're very symmetrical. So yes, you have to have preferences on this side. Good. Okay. Now look at the first king that's on your list, the top of the list. So for example, you've got the King of Spades. And what I want you to do is go and propose to the person who's top of your list, okay? So you've got to get up on stage and go to the king that's top of your list. Okay, so you're going to go to the King of Spades down here. You're going to go to the King of Clubs. You're going to go to the King of Spades. And you're also going to go to the, let's get this the right way around, King of Spades. Okay, so, right. Here's the myth. Wow. Here's the really hot king around here. This is Mr. Darcy. Great. Okay, so, but you can't have them all. We're only going to have one. So why not? Well, I'm afraid that's not what it. So who would be your first choice?
Queen of Diamonds.
Okay, so is the Queen of Diamonds proposed? Yes, exactly. So I'm afraid you two get rejected. So you've got to go down. Queen of Diamonds, you stay up here. You got chosen. Yeah, you got chosen. Yeah. Gosh. No, the algorithm is okay, so you've got to go down here. So, okay, so what are we going to do with you? You've got to go down to the next one on your list. Okay, so who have you got? You've got, King of Spades rejected you. So King of Clubs. So if you go and propose to the King of Clubs, and who have you got? You've got Hans Ulrich. Oh, great. Okay, so let's take you down to the King of Clubs. Right. Gosh. This guy's a little bit sad, isn't he? It's like, no. Okay, so, but we got two on the King of Clubs. Yeah, so now you get to choose. So let's say you had the Queen of Hearts. She really liked you, but she's quite low down. So let me just, so this is what happened to start with. We had 3 here, and then 2 got rejected, and then they actually went and proposed, and now we've got 2 proposing to the King of Clubs. So you're going to choose, what's your first choice out of the Queen of Clubs or the Queen of Hearts? Queen of Clubs, okay, so I'm afraid you get rejected. That's right, you thought we were in there, but okay, so we've got to look at the second on your list. So she's been rejected, so you're going to propose now, so the King of Clubs and King of Diamonds next. So Hans Ulrich, yes, exactly. So go and propose to Hans Ulrich. Here we go. But now Hans Ulrich's got 2. Wow, okay, but which one do you want, Hans Ulrich? Let's see, you probably, Queen of Hearts is top of your list. Yeah, so you reject this one. Guys, it's a fairly cruel algorithm, I must admit. So, okay. Yeah, okay, so you've got to come over here. Yeah. You still haven't had any offers, have you? It's kind of rather... Okay, well, let's see what we can do. So you've gone Queen of... So we just had... you proposed to Hans Ulrich. Hans Ulrich rejected... rejected... Yeah, yes, that's right. Yes, that's right. You've just been rejected. You were there the first time. So now you're down to... Oh, my God, you've done 2. You're down to the King of Hearts. Oh, at last. There is, and absolutely, as she said, there is somebody for everybody, because after this algorithm eventually stabilizes, and, oh, isn't that so sweet? I'm really looking forward to coming back to the marathon in a few years' time and hearing about how all this is going. But the point now is this algorithm ensures that these marriages are all stable. So although you've got the 3rd on your list, there's nobody else who would prefer to run away with. So although you had to go down to the 3rd on your list, these are all in fact stable. So that is the algorithm that ensures you get a stable marriage. So let's give all our volunteers a round of applause. Thank you. Great. Brilliant. Now, you can all go back to your seats. Excellent. Now, the point is that this, it looks like a little parlor game, but actually this is really important, because a lot of things in modern life are that we're trying to find a lot of incompatible preferences and trying to find some way to put them together. One of the most intriguing places where this has been used is in the National Health Service. So you might need a kidney donated to you, and you might have a relative who's prepared to donate their kidney, but it isn't a match. Now, there may be a pair somewhere else who also don't have a match, but if we swap them over, we will be able to do a good transplant for both of them. So that's a very simple, you don't need an algorithm for that, but there have been such complicated chains of kidney donation that in order to do this kind of work, you need an algorithm. It'd be almost impossible without a little bit of mathematics to be able to find a way to match all of these people up. And these algorithms are being used for matching for many different things. So, for example, schools, children to school places, rabbis to synagogues, also students in medical school applying to hospitals. But there's a really important thing here. If the maths is actually driving a lot of the work, it's really important, and this is my message, that you understand the maths. Because if you notice there, I got the queens to propose to the kings, and we got some pairings. That's a bit... What if I done it the other way around? What if I got the kings to propose to the queens? Do you think we would have got different pairings? Now, it's not clear at first sight, but if you actually do it, you find that the way we did that, you do sometimes get different pairings. The queens actually got the best they could out of this algorithm by being the ones that proposed. They gradually filtered down through their preferences. The kings ended up with their worst preferences out of this algorithm. Now, students at medical school suddenly realized that, hey, the medical schools are proposing to us, the students, which means the medical schools are getting the best deal, and we, the students, are getting the worst deal. And by understanding the maths that was driving these algorithms, they realized that they were being screwed. And they said, we want it to be changed to the other way around. So now the medical students propose to the medical schools, and the medical students end up getting the best deal that they can. So I think it's really important, if maths is driving all the algorithms which are doing all the work for us in our modern age, that we understand this maths. Because as Douglas Rushkoff said, in the emerging highly programmed landscape ahead, you will either create the software or you will be the software. It's really that simple. Program or be programmed. Thank you.